Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Legend of Korra, the hour episode today, which had to do with the first Avatar, and this episode's called Beginnings, Part 1 and Part 2. So, I know I didn't have a review for Legend of Korra last week. I didn't really mention I wasn't going to have one. But I was at New York Comic Con and I had no time to do a review for Legend of Korra, and I think I actually watched the episode in the middle of the week, and usually I watch it like on Friday, and I just didn't have time to even watch the episode until like later in the week. I did watch the episode, and I'm sorry I didn't have a review, but I do have a review for this episode, and this is actually half the episode we saw at New York Comic Con, because I did end up going to Legend of Korra panel, and we saw half of this episode, and then the next half, obviously, for the rest of the hour premiere. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it was cool to see the first part a second time, try to absorb things maybe I wouldn't have absorbed in a first showing, especially in a big room like New York Comic Con. Let's talk about this episode. We do get to see more of the first Avatar than Korra. Korra is probably in here for like 2 minutes in this episode out of the whole hour. But this episode's for Wan, the first Avatar. And we learn how he got these powers and how he's connected to the spirits. And it has to actually do with him actually messing up, which it seems like what the Avatars love doing is messing up and then trying to fix it. That's what I've seen with Avatar, especially with Korra. So he messes up. He destroys one of the dark spirit and the light spirit's battle, because the light spirit was trying to hold down the dark spirit like for thousands of years, and he messes up, and the dark spirit's taking over the world. So we get to see Wan. He decides to take from these ancient turtles, that's how they got powers back then, all the elements, and this obviously damages him a little because he's just human. So he has to connect with the light spirit. We see him connect more with the light spirit, and he's able to become the Avatar that way, and he saves the day from the dark spirit, and he is able to balance, like what the Avatar does, the spirit world and the human world. He's like, I will be that bridge. And we actually see him transform into this normal human being with no powers to the Avatar throughout this whole episode. And then Korra is just in her own little world right now because she forgot who she was, but by seeing her past, she remembers she's Korra, she's the Avatar, and maybe, hopefully, rethink her journey, because we see that she has a new journey now, because the end, this battle that happened with Wan is going to happen again with Korra, and now that all the spirit bridges are open because her stupid mistake in the beginning of the season, we get to see that she's going to have to bring that bridge back together, close the spirit world where she did make that mistake, where Uncle's like, oh, open up the spirit world, that's what we need, and obviously that's not what we need, and that's proven in this episode. So we're going to have a humongous battle probably in the end of the season with that battle that we saw with Wan, except with Korra now. I like this episode a lot. I think especially if you like the history of the Avatars, you're going to love this episode, because was it needed? I don't think it was. I think it is needed maybe for Korra more than anything, because I think a big complaint with all of us is that Korra uses the Avatar state like it's nothing. She really doesn't have a goal. She's been very harsh this season, very does what she wants, and that's it. And I think after seeing this, and after this journey for her, she realizes how important, or hopefully she'll realize how important the spirit world is. And I think that's why this episode was kind of necessary for her, because now she's like, oh wow, who knew the spirits were this important? And I think even as an audience, we're like, who knew that the Avatar bridge was so important? We actually see physically how this happened. And I think this will reevaluate Korra's personality on the Avatar state and maybe use it more cautiously. And I think for us, that's the most important thing for Korra. So for that, I think this is very important. It actually gets us to our main plot, which is going to be more about the spirits, because this book is spirits. And I think with the first half of the season, they didn't really know where they were going with it, and they're like, oh, we want spirits, and they left seeds, but there's a little bit unconnected, and now they're really going into the main plot of, alright, it is about spirits in this big battle, which I'm really excited to see in Korra's point of view. I think it's going to be an awesome battle. It got me excited for this season again, you know. It got me excited more about the spirits, and I really enjoyed seeing more of that spirit connection, because that's something we really didn't see in Avatar, you know, The Last Airbender that much. We saw him learn more about the elements than his spirit self. I think that's something that Korra could take advantage of because she knows the elements. I think that's what Avatar 1 did too. It's easier for him to learn all the elements. The hard part was to connect with the spirit. A special person has to do that. And that proves why the Avatar is so important. So I'm glad that they're exploring more of the spirit side of things. And I think this arc is going to be very important for Korra. And I hope this maybe reevaluates her character a little. I think it will. I think maybe that's why Korra started out so harsh, you know, for us as fans. We're like, I hate Korra. What's going on with Korra? Like, why is she being like this? I think it's just because of this. It's for this climax to make her turn into another person and show, wow, I didn't understand how the Avatar was so important. I mean, rushing this, I really have to stand my ground. I really have to be like Juan. Now, what were my problems with this episode? I didn't have many, honestly. I liked the animation for what it was. I liked it for Juan's world. I wouldn't have liked it for Korra's world, but I liked that classic Japanese old art, and I really respected that. So I liked the art. Did it make me love Juan? I won't say I love Juan, but I respect Juan, definitely. And I think one thing I loved about these two episodes is that you really saw this character grow in only an hour. You know, it takes a series to make us really, really enjoy the Avatar of that series or of that season. And I think in these two episodes, we respect Juan. And, you know, he's like the Captain America of the Avatar. And that's the best way I could put it. We respect Juan now. And I like that about this episode. I didn't like the spirits. I think the second half of this episode was a lot better than the first half. Because I didn't like that monkey type spirit. I didn't really like his voice. I thought he was kind of annoying. He's the same voice. I've seen that voice before. I think it's the guy who plays Richie from Static Shock. And all these other cartoons that you see. So I didn't love those spirits. I thought where they were trying to be funny with that, they were a tad annoying with. So I think the first half was a little slower. And then we got the second half and you're like, alright, this episode was worth it. So those are kind of the good and bad. And then, of course, there's, like, no Korra in this episode. I know that Juan's going to teach Korra. You know, I think that's supposed to happen in the next episode. So I'm excited for that. But I think that could have been integrated in this episode. And Juan said, this is my story. Instead of Korra just like, oh, I totally forgot what happened. I felt that was a little of a cop-out. I think it would have been better as, like, I am Juan. I am the first Avatar. Let me tell you my story. And then talk a little. I think they could have done that in this episode more. Cut down on the silly spirit stuff here, you know, again, like the monkey spirit. I think they could have cut down a little bit on that and done the training in this episode. But honestly, I enjoyed this one. I thought it was a very solid episode, and I'm excited to see more from Juan, and it makes this character a little bit more special when he does interact with Korra, hopefully in the next episode. And really, I hope Korra does reevaluate herself because of this episode, and I really see that happening. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rand Situations, and don't forget to like my Facebook page, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, and if you didn't, tell me what you thought of the episode in the comments below, and I'll have another review for Legend of Korra next Friday. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.